This is your daily market review for Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at XP Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. Another choppy, sloppy, inconsistent day. Ooh, too many to remember. Honestly, it just seems like Groundhog's Day. Hence why I was trying to recommend people just be careful, determine your stops, manage your risk, and just be patient. If you're expecting things to happen all at once, good luck. That's not necessarily how they happen. Sadly, just it is what it is. Markets chop. So as of right now, right, going into next week, OPEX, you got PPI tomorrow. Could be quiet. That's all. We'll see. The PPI numbers are interesting again because I look at the CPI numbers. They've changed how they calculate these numbers, and they just made it easier for them to assume lower inflation, which, again, I don't like to be political about this stuff, but it kind of drives me crazy because I think it's BS, right? Like, inflation is what it is, but you remember how they said, it'd be transitory, yada. I mean, they made all these excuses, and ultimately, guess what? It's still highly elevated for way longer than they thought, and guess what? They're probably going to have to keep them higher for longer. And so we'll talk about what's coming next. Yeah, let's get into it. So if you're new to the channel, join the Discord room. Links in the description below. If you're following Twitter, posting what we're up to, check it out. Check it out. Check it out. YouTube, new, check it out. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. I promise it's well worth it because you're going to get, if we do live chats 2-3 times a week minimum, yeah, you're going to get involved. You're going to get the notification. Also, too, if you're just following the channel and you're curious about some information about trading in general, back to basics series, here you go, thetradingagent.com, thetradingagent.com. I know this is just the sites, but again, link is in description below. Let's get into it. Fed Watch Tool, 99% odds of a pause in June. I guess the market like that today. I mean, it's interesting watching the market. It's tough to know for sure. Bitcoin looked like it was going to break down. It seems to be holding 27,000. Keep an eye on it. Oil, we talked about choppy, sloppy, all over the place. Well, at this point, it's just doing what it's doing. I mean, we talked about global growth. OPEC is probably going to cut more. I mean, I don't see oil taking off, but that's just my opinion. Natural gas, I don't know why you're struggling there. Again, going nowhere. Going nowhere fast. The dollar, as we said, watch what happens when it holds this range down here. Seems to be holding, building up. 20-day doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. Again, same thing with the TLT. They just seem to be chopping in these ranges. And the thing about the chopping in the ranges is not as important as the volatility that could come from chopping in these ranges, right? Because the market seems to be very comfortable with where the dollar's at, seems to be very comfortable with the bond market's at. If those things start moving, the market will start to get spooked. But at this point, we're not getting either. It seems to be stuck. The VIX. Hence why the VIX coming back down into 17. What a gift. Again, wide and loose. The VIVIX, this is the thing about the VIVIX, though. The VIX of the VIX, it's starting to wake up. And it looks like it's starting to hold higher prices. So, to me, something's coming. I just don't know when. Just a matter of if, not when. Again, I still think market, the risk to the upside, not worth it. Shorting, to me, makes sense. But again, define your risk, pick your spots, and be careful as you go through earnings. SPY, look at this hammer. Man, it's all over the place. All over the place. If you're checking the monthly out, the 20-month is curling down. You could argue like chop top du jour. When does this end? I have no clue. QQQ, same kind of thing. Hammer, decent volume at the 20-month, at the 200 or 100 week. Man, never ends chop. Again, define your risk. If you're looking to short highs, cover low, be careful. Just be thoughtful, right? IWM, all over the place. Again, tries to get over the 20-day. Seems to be holding the low 170s. Again, IWM, if the market's strong, and this is, again, why the evidence, people are like, oh, you're an idiot for being a bear. I'm like, no. IWM leads. If the market was strong, IWM would be up here, probably 200, probably be at 210. But it's not. DIA, another one, lagging today. It's got nothing. It literally has nothing. And so it's just a matter of when, not if. And if, again, things change, evidence will change, we'll change our opinion. It's really that simple. You don't have to be sitting here telling yourself you have to do anything for sure. Just be thoughtful, okay? Please be thoughtful. All right, on that note, let's get into gold. Again, today's reaction with gold, not surprised. I've said it looks a little nervous up here. Just keep it on. Again, raise your stops. Silver, this thing's been lagging. Again, raise your stops. Watch the 20-day, because if it breaks the 20-day, it could get ugly. GDX, we talked about miners leading down. Holding the 20-day. Again, retest. The big miners look a little better, but this is where worrisome is that the juniors typically lead. Look at Junior. Junior's holding the 20-day as well, but not over. Not over. Not even close, right? AG, lagging. We talked about this name. AEM said this has been holding up better, but look, keep an eye on it, right? Keep an eye on what happens up here, because it looks like it's chop-topping. Chop-top, right? Newmont, we talked about this lag. Look at this thing. Here are the highs in January. Here are the highs in April. What are we doing down here? Something doesn't look right. PAAS. Now I know they're talking about buying out companies, and we get it. Same thing. Junkie does not look good. All right, let's get into tech, because this is where it gets really confusing, right? AMD. If this ain't a top, I don't know what it is. Everyone's betting on 100. High of the day was 99.94. Thought yesterday was the top, but look, we closed basically right back. I mean, again, let me open this up to essentially, it gets the most candle bodies. Yeah, I mean, we're back in it. Keep an eye on it. If you got stopped out, fine. If you got back in, fine. If you are just layering in and you didn't get as much and you got, again, this feels very distributish at the highs. NVIDIA tries to get over the 290s again. Remember, if you go check out the weekly, it's an important zone. 0.756 seems to be what? Stuck. I guess I should raise that now, right? Seems to be stuck. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. Can it go higher? Absolutely. But again, when I look at the weekly and I go, wow, this thing has been just on fire. Right? I mean, look at this thing. 110 to 288. Just like that. Notice the zone. Notice the zone, auto zone. So keep an eye on that. Micron was like, what is going on today? All day. Lag. Some of these chips don't look good. Taiwan Semi. News came out about some guidance. Not do so hot. Sales are down. Expectations down. Intel, same thing. Lag. I don't need to say too much about it. Adobe. Chopping. Lagging. Apple getting a little tired up here. Now, this is what's hard is, when's it going to fall? I feel like, again, this is a novice gap trap. How many days? Your guess is as good as mine. Amazon. This is a professional gap or novice gap? It's done this before. Keeping on it. Now, again, could it get up a little higher? Two-day little move? Possibly. Just keep it on it. Again, some names look better than others. CRM, people are talking about shorting this. 200 was the main level. You're over it, but man, this candle's so sneaky. A Doge. Just keep an eye on it. Guggenheim, again, their AI news, AI phone. I mean, I'm kind of laughing. I mean, I don't know who would be buying this crap down here, but again, it is what it is. It is acting strong. You've got references it's coming into. Again, I'm not short this, but it is what it is, right? I'm looking at the weekly, monthly. There's really not, I mean, I guess you could go a little higher. Meta seems to be lagging. Lag. Remember we talked about the gap, extended gap trap. Like extend the big move. I mean, that one felt like when it only pulled back some, but I mean, again, these guys they're not, I don't even want to talk about fundamentals. Again, I just feel like that's the exhaustion gap. Some people agree, some people don't. Just trade it. Microsoft, Mr. Softy. Filling the gap. Talked about it. Be patient. Hit your stops. Do whatever you got to do. NDAQ, we've talked about. The NASDAQ Composite Index will be a laggard for decades to come. Well, the stock is pricing it in. They're not getting their growth back. Just keep it on it. MicroStrategy. Popping all over with the coin. Seems to be getting stuck in the mid 320s. Just worth a watch. Netflix popped a little bit more today. Again, Doji. This is tough. I mean, just keep it on it. Roblox is one that's been gotten annihilated. From 47 down to like 33. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. Because this could be a wide and low inflection candle. Because again, then you can have a multi-day range top. So watch the 40 area. Tesla. Dog crap. Dog. Just stuck. I mean, we've talked about game over candle. I mean, this is a big choppy, sloppy zone. Is it going to catch up? Doesn't really feel like it is. SMH. I don't know why I keep forgetting this, but here you go. Oh man, I keep forgetting to update it. Here it is. Just nothing. Getting stuck in the nothing. Let's get into commodities, right? Lagging. X. We've talked about this. tremendously. Like, these names just don't look good, y'all. Like, these names should be much higher. They should be in the 23s. Nucor, we talked about, put out an alert on this, breaking down. I'm sorry, that's just not what you want to see. It needs to get back over 140. Caterpillar, looking soft. Chopping at the range lows. Keep in mind, this thing went on a monster run from whatever it was, 161 up to 265, and now it's consolidating in between. It looks like it's about to make up its mind in time. VALE, everyone loves it. It just keeps going lower. Again, global economic stocks. Copper stuff. Now, here's where you got to be a little careful, right? We talked about, here are their earnings. Always be careful. We're in earnings. Bam. Ugly. Now, again, I usually don't do a ton of copper stuff, but look at like Southern Copper. You got some big red candles. Freeport, not as big of a candle, but again, it's been lagging at lows. Just keep an eye on it. CCJ, some folks are getting really excited about this stock. I'm like, all right, just watch the range highs. I mean, I still think it's going to go lower in time because of what? Just they throw the baby out with the bathwater. People just don't ever really get my assumptions or understand why. They just go, "You're an idiot. You're an idiot." And it's like, okay, that's fine. If I got, I mean, the reality is, if every time I was called an idiot and I made a nickel, I'd probably be worth a couple $100. But that just is what it is. CF, talked about leaving these names alone. There you go. Leaving those names alone. Mosaic, chopping, stuck, range lows. Ay caramba. Not good. Not good, right? I mean, again, we like these names at lower prices, but how low can they go? They could absolutely get just destroyed, and I won't complain one bit. I like ag names a lot. So, AA, same thing. Here you go, coming into the range lows, bounces a little bit. It looks kind of weak. XLF, you're welcome if you shorted the 3250. This is what's so hard about today. It's like, how is the market going to rip higher to new highs, look strong, act great, and financials are lagging? Congrats if you're shorting up here. It looks so far so good. JP Morgan, letting time pass. If you short up in the 142s, we talked about a pounce potentially, and then here it is, stuck. Just let it do its thing. Morgan Stanley, again, confirms what weakness. The thing is just dead cat bouncing, nothing. Goldman Sachs. Again, if you're interested in the Marcus deal, they are offering 5.15% for 3 months. And again, you can use the referral code to get years. Essentially, they're saying you can do as many as you want. You get 5 every calendar year, which is like, well, you need to do 5 because 4 will get you, 5.1% for a year. And again, they have great rates, 4.15 on them. They got all these CDs. Again, if you have questions, hit me up. Link is in the description below, the Marcus account. I highly recommend folks move some money. Again, I actually like the app, and I'm not just pushing for these guys. I actually like the stuff. Again, I don't recommend things I'm not using myself. I'm literally using it. That's where I store a decent amount of funds because, again, I got tired of getting paid nothing at Chase and First Citizen. Just absolute crap. Closed up a lot of accounts, honestly. Moved a lot of money because of just in case. KRE, same thing. Junior banks look like crap. XBI. Chopping. But then here you go. Gap. This is what's so hard is if you shorted up here and you got stopped out, you got stopped out. Now you're back up near the highs, but keep in mind, this is why I keep telling people, be careful shorting these. I mean, these things have gotten destroyed. I mean, I don't know how high they could run this stuff, but it's, to me, danger. IYT, we talked about the transports. What have been doing what? Lagging. Just keep an eye on it. Let's get into solar because it popped today, and solar folks are like giddy. I'm like, man, this stuff is going nowhere. ENPH, we talked about this being oversold, could bounce. Just chopping. Sedgerton, every time it bounces decent amount. I would love to see the gap fill, but it feels like it's a short. First Solar, not surprised. Again, these names have been absolutely kicked in the teeth. Some of them, well, not really, but all right, just bide some time. Watch what happens when it gets back up into the low 180s. I mean, you're essentially there. Oil, just nothing. I mean, there's snoozer. UNG, again, if you ask me about this, ban yourself from trading because this thing is going to have to reverse split before I have any interest in buying it. XOP. We talked about oil and gas names lagging because, again, the economy's weak, guys. Talked about if you sold up here, great. Watch what happens in the 13 to 116 range. Seems to be holding up. ExxonMobil, which has been a leader. We Talked about it. You could have shorted this thing up in the 115, 116 range. Talked about it could dead cat bounce. Said the 150-day cross. Congrats. You shorted. Looking good. Looking good. Occidental earnings, I think they came out. Meh, 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 meh. Again, I mean, I just think all these names have problems with global growth. That's just the nature of the beast, right? EQT, chop, chop, chop. BXD, chop, 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 chop. Again, they're potentially an ExxonMobil purchase. Flex LNG, chop, chop, chop. Again, a lot of these names, I don't mean to be the dead horse, but you know, they're just going nowhere. HYG, we'll end it on the HY jizzle. We talked about corporate debt needing to what? Hold up. So far, I mean, it's not looking so good. Like you would think it'd be up here, and we're not. All right, if you have any questions, please reach out. Again, this is the time of year with a lot of people who are thinking about buying a house, selling a house. Personally, for me, I wouldn't be buying until the fall because who knows? Again, I don't really care about the interest rates, but I think housing will soften in general. At some point, it's continuing as long as, again, unemployment rate's kind of a little flimsy how they're determining it. Again, I don't want to argue about that. But if you're looking to sell or if you're in a state that has an assessment of their taxes every year, be careful. States are gouging people right now. I had to go and meet with a tax assessor 2 days ago. I mean, they raised my property taxes, and they said my house was worth X amount. I was like, I'm a real estate agent. I can't even sell it. And then I was like looking at some things. I'm like, wait, hold on. The way that you're assessing it, you literally have a finished basin for my house. How the hell did you guys not know that? And then it's like, oh, of course, the builder didn't tell them. But again, I don't. This is a newer house. I'm just amazed that again, you didn't notice it until they really started pumping the assessments. So if you're thinking about that, it's probably worth checking out, talking to a good real estate agent, because again, they can create a CMA and base it on whatever time frame is specific to your area. But if you're looking to sell, I'm telling you right now, please don't hesitate to reach out. There's a lot of terrible agents out there that aren't going to help you. Got a house listing going live probably tomorrow. Good friend of mine. Again, I love to help people in real estate because I am passionate about it. It's one of those things where if you understand how it works, the potential power of it, like I always tell you, like you're buying, like every time you purchase a property, it's like a little mini 401k, has tax advantages out the wazoo if it's investment property. And again, if you're renting, don't rent. I'm telling you, it is your interest rate on renting is always 100% because you're paying 100% of the other person's mortgage probably. Or if it's already paid off, they're collecting all. That's my point. It's 100% interest. And again, would you rather pay a 7% interest rate for your own property and figure it out? Telling you get all the gains, the upside. Now, if people argue, well, what if housing softens for a couple of years? Well, at least you're building equity and you're paying down debt in that property versus just paying down debt in someone else's property. So if you have any questions, again, please reach out. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.